Now's the time to put all the pieces together. So let's do it. All right, well, thanks everybody for joining again today. What we're going to be talking about is the B.A.S.E framework, putting all the pieces together. Because we've been spending some time going through this the last few episodes, and I hope you've been able to really wrap your heads around everything that I'm saying as far as the basic level of how you can put together a plan for success with your rental properties. Now, I definitely want to recommend that you go back and get the deep dive. The last few episodes have been walking through this step by step. But let's start with the basics, give you the Reader's Digest. The B.A.S.E framework. What this is driven from is just think about the idea of climbing a mountain. If you're going to ascend to the peak of a mountain, one of the largest in the world, there's levels of it that you have to be prepared for. One of the most critical spots that you have to stop before you do a major climb, a major ascent, is called B.A.S.E. So that's part of the symbolism behind this framework, because really when you look at B.A.S.E, is an acronym, and the base, at the base, you really need to think. Beginning with the end in mind is critical. So before ascension, seek expertise. If you want the journey to be as productive and as pleasing as possible, you need to have the right people on your team and in your corner, making sure that you're positioned for success. So that's the thing I want to get out of the way, that before ascension, seek expertise, seek experience. Right? Seek the things that you need that are going to prepare you properly for that trip, for that ascension, help you inspect what you expect, and really allow you to climb with the least amount of effort possible by design. So that's the base. Now let's talk about the camp. Now I've been walking you through these pieces before. I'll spell it out. Criteria, accounting, marketing, and paperwork. 4 key components. Now, is it everything you'll possibly ever need to know about being a landlord? Nah. But I can tell you this, after a decade plus of successfully landlording, passively managing my rental properties, it's been a journey. It wasn't always that passive. There were times it was very active. There was times I wanted to pull my hair out. But before I had the criteria established, I was just doing whatever the wind did to me. I just went in the direction of the gusts. And that's no way to live definite, at least not with your investments. So to have these criteria established in the beginning with the end in mind, like Dr. Stephen Covey talked about in his book, is one of the key criteria is to have criteria, right? The first part of a plan is to have a plan. Doesn't matter so much if it's a bad plan, but you got a starting point. So knowing that puts you in a position for success, right? And then the accounting piece, so often looked over. The idea that accounting can make or break your profits. If you really don't understand the inflow and the outflow, you'll soon find yourself without dough. Yeah, not too pleasing of an idea if you think about it, right? So being able to put a plan together for how you're going to manage your finances. Are you going to get assistance with your accounting, right? Unless you have a degree in accounting, you might want to get some assistance with your accounting. Right? Being good at math isn't always just quite good enough. So having your accounting on point is key, because you're running a business. You need to take it seriously and treat it like one. But having your head wrapped on, tightened on, screwed on tightly on that topic right there will have you in such a better position while you're still small. Because once you grow that virtual skyscraper up, there's a lot more associated with supporting it, and you want to have these good habits built in early on. And that goes all the way down to your budgeting, which is the link and transition into the marketing component, right? For free or for fee, you have to do it, right? Sweat equity, capital equity, make that investment in your marketing. Build momentum in your message with massive marketing. So putting that component together is such a critical piece. And I walked through that, making sure that you understand the markets that you're operating in. That's going to determine a lot of those eligible strategies, right? Up, down, or sideways, the market's going to keep moving. So how are you prepared and how are you positioned to make the best of that? So go back and get your quick marketing education if you need it. And last but not least, the paperwork to protect your profits, to get the peak profits. The peak profit potential hinges on proper paperwork. And so I'm encouraging everybody to take the time to think about or revisit what you have in place. If you don't have anything, now's a great time to get started. And I'm not trying to turn anybody into a legal expert, because I'm not. But it's that subtle reminder that this is another area of expertise that you can get access to. Get an attorney on your team, get your tried and true piece of paperwork to get started with that's going to at least initially cover the basics. And you can always add more protection on later. But by looking at these 4 key areas, your criteria, your accounting, your marketing, your paperwork, each episode dives a little bit deeper into how you can optimize each area, even if you haven't started off on the good foot in this area. Because guess what? At some point, you got to make the changes, the enhancements, if you want to be able to grow, or the size of your problems stay a little bit larger than what you're doing, and you hit that wall. But that's not the goal. That's not the objective. The objective here is ascension. So having this proper framework in place, working for you, hitting the nail on the head in each of these areas is going to anchor you and give you stability so that you can ascend to the levels that you want to and aspire to. And then you can add on additional modules that you need to as appropriate for your level of expertise as you begin to ascend. So that's essentially what I wanted to share today. A quick recap and a reminder. Check out the B.A.S.E framework if you are looking at being serious about having success in your rental properties, building a portfolio, whether it's 1 or 2 or a few. You want to set yourself up properly for success. Take advantage of the B.A.S.E framework that I've outlined here and let me know how it's been able to serve you. I can't wait to hear your success stories and profit wins as well. Until next time, be sure to tune in to Learn How to See Better. It's the only podcast out there that will improve your vision the longer you listen. This is your host, Drew Davis. Catch you on the next one.